Hey there, hunters. Welcome back to the Gunners Guild. While not a World of Warcraft YouTuber by any means, I do like to make videos about games I'm currently playing. So today I'm going to talk about and explain my farming methods for World of Warcraft Season of Discovery Phase 1. I've farmed to exhaustion, and I should have about 1,000 gold once I finish selling all this stuff. Currently a little over 800 right now, so I figured I'd show what I have and what I've been doing since I've kind of farmed myself out at this point. I'm just tired of it, and maybe this will help others farm some gold as well. I am Horde, so this will be tailored to Horde farming, sorry ally. But let's not waste too much more time and let's just get into this. So to start, what I'm working towards is I'm selling a few things on the auction house. On the engineering side of things, the first thing is the Shredder Auto Salvager, which people need for their runes, and will pretty much always need and will always be in demand as people will always be making more alts. Then we also have bronze gizmos that are important because not only do people need them for the auto salvagers, we also can turn them into the Darkmoon Faire for tickets, which are people using to get those 14 slot bags, so they're also very highly demanded. So one of my character focuses on those. I also have my hunter, who is my skinner and leather worker, who farms medium and heavy leathers. You'll need these to make the auto salvagers, as well as silk bags and general profession leveling, so they also sell pretty good. But these are kind of like the general things I am farming for, with a few extra things thrown in. That being said, you can just stop watching here and just, do your thing. But I'm going to go ahead and continue to show where and what specifically I farm and my routes and all that stuff. So to start, my shaman, which is what I use to farm my ore. You need both copper and tin to make bronze, so we do have to do 2 farming spots. The first for tin, and man, I hate farming tin. While most of the guides online will tell you to farm Southern Barrens or 1000 Needles, those guides are kind of meant for level 60s, and running through without mounts or being of low level that we are, is kind of a pain. So I found that the best place to farm tin was Silver Pine Forest, around Baron's Peril specifically. The mountains around here spawn tin very frequently, but the cave at Baron's Peril has 3 tin nodes and 1 copper node that constantly spawn. This whole area is kind of hyper spawn, so these tin ores are constantly spawning, but there is like a 5 to 10 minute gap where they don't spawn, and then they constantly spawn after that for a while. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Now there are some good and bad things about this spot. The first is that, you're gonna have to be clearing this cave constantly because it is hyperspawn, so it's not just a chill run around the mine kind of farm. You have to be paying attention, you have to be murdering stuff and keeping track of where all the things are spawning, and it's a lot of uptime. But the upside is that you do get plenty of wool, which is needed for the salvagers as well, and greens and gray drops that'll sell for 10 plus silver a piece. The other downside here is that some people know the spot's pretty crazy, so it's frequently farmed, and when there is competition down here, it blows. Because once you cut your income rate down in half, it becomes not worth it. Kind of blows. But if you can manage to snag this spot and get a solo farm here, you really don't have to run around all that much since all the tin will just spawn in this little cave and you could just casually farm hundreds of tin. And because you're going to be murdering all this undead, you're going to get a lot of wool as well, and of course the grays and stuff. Trust me, this spot is killer. But again, don't forget the exterior right in front of the cave mouth because that's not going to show up on your mini-map, so you have to get outside before it'll show up with your nodes. And the exterior mountain sites as well, if you're waiting for them to spawn back in the cave, there's always 1 or 2 tins that are around. There's plenty of tin to go around. So for Baron's Peril, it's great for tin, silver, wool, and some general greens to sell. Now for the copper, I like Mulgore. This area is really easy to do donuts in and just collect copper non-stop. I've never really seen anyone farm Mulgore for copper, but I find it really handy. Enemies are low levels, so you don't aggro much, and there's just a constant supply of ore. And this is right next to the big capital city, so you can smell and sell your stuff right away and continue farming. Personally, I tend to stick around the left side of Mulgore. There's a cave full of gnolls here that spawns 5 copper nodes in here, and they spawn really fast as well. So I tend to run in, gather all the copper, and then go up the left side of the mountain edge, and then come back down, collect the copper, return to the cave, do that, rinse and repeat, and it's just all spawned again. So again, I just run up and down this left side of Mulgore, and you can usually collect about 100 copper in 30-35 minutes. But that's also because I have Ghost Wolf to run faster, which does make this a lot easier. Unfortunately, there's nothing really extra to gain from farming copper in this manner. Nothing else really sells for anything that's worthwhile, but copper is still really needed for bronze, and that's kind of the key. While you could just buy the copper, that's kind of a waste of your profits. I'd rather just farm it myself, to be honest. Now, with the little wool I do get from Baron's Peril, I do usually have to buy the rest of the wool off the auction house when it's low, and then I use that and the bronze to make the gizmos. If the gizmo prices are high, which they usually are during the Darkmoon Faire times, then I usually just make those and sell that. But if they're low, like under 10 silver, then I use the gizmos to make the shredders. Now the shredders also need a bronze framework, which means you need heavy leather and medium leather. So I need both of those, which is where I turn to my skinner and leather worker. So with my hunter, I take him down to 1000 needles to farm leather. Along this southwest kind of corner area here, just away from Free Wind Post, I just hunt beasts here. The venomous wind serpents, the ravine stalkers, and the hyenas. Most of these are around level 26 to 28, and so most of the time these are going to be orange level mobs for us, but that's not too much of an issue for hunter. I hunt these because they have a 25% chance to drop heavy leather on skinning. So on average, every 5 kills will net us 2 heavy leather, either from the drops or the medium leather, which we can convert to heavy leather anyway. I don't kill the 24 to 26 mobs like the stealth cats and the white cloud serpents because they can't drop heavy leather, and they can drop light leather, which is pretty much worthless. So it's not really worth hunting those in this area. But these beasts also spawn very fast, so even if there are other people in this area, you're probably not going to have too much of a problem farming these mobs. Mages have a pretty good time here, because you can AoE farm these beasts pretty well just running around and collecting them all. Now, besides the leathers here, we can also get a few things from the mobs themselves. For starters, the great trash items are actually pretty good money. Soft patches of fur sell for like 5 silver a piece, and there's a couple other grays and stuff that'll sell for 2 to 4 silver each on top of this skin. So like your silver per mob killed is pretty good. Sharp claws are also frequently gained here, which we can sell for about 5 to 7 silver each because they're needed for rage potions. But we can also get large fangs here occasionally, which I'm holding on to right now because greater rage potions for next phase will need those. The greens here are also really good because they're usually around level 22 to 26, which is great. And I think I've gotten like 6 bristlebark chest pieces, which sell for like 3 to 4 gold a piece. So like the green loot's actually pretty solid here. So at this spot, I farm the leathers to finish the shredder auto salvagers, make those and then auction that, and then sell the gray loot and auction the greens. I also like to have my hunter here so I can farm leathers in the event that the Baron's Peril area is being farmed already, because competing for tin there is kind of awful. Also, if you happen to be skinning and mining, there's still a ton of ore around this area that you can use as well, so you can kind of double dip here very easily. I do recommend being both skinner and miner here. But yeah, that's kind of been my farming spots and what I've been doing to make gold for the most part here in Season of Discovery. I have another video that I'm going to be doing for farming other stuff, so stay tuned for that, I guess. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Peace and good luck out there, hunters.